on the computer. Alrighty, good afternoon, everybody. It is your boy Fish Flicks here once again for another good old Fish Real interview, joined by two amazingly talented actors that recently acted in the newly released Netflix movie that just released today. It is called Blood Vessel. Go check it out. It is on Netflix currently now, so go out and check this movie out as soon as you get a chance, once it's all said and done. But let me first off introduce the two great gentlemen that are joining me here today. First off, I'm going to be starting off by introducing Mr. Alex Budin. Alex, how are you doing today?
Hey guys, glad to be here. I'm doing great. I'm very excited about today's release and just cannot wait for you guys to all watch it.
Absolutely. I'm going to go check this out as soon as I can later in the evening today as well. And also another great, talented young actor, Mr. Rene Mena. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm great. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm happy. I'm blessed. So what can I say? I'm great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with the movie being out and released now, it's on Netflix. You know, it was made by this smaller independent film production company. It's out on Netflix today now. I'll start off with you, Rene. How are you feeling now, knowing with the film being released today on Netflix? And did you think that it would get all the way up to this point to where people are going out and watching this thing on Netflix? How are you feeling about it?
I feel better now because I already watched it.
No way, too fast. I haven't watched it yet. Oh, wow, man.
I did. I stayed up to watch it before I went to sleep. And it's interesting. It's now I've been on Netflix before on shows and movies before. So for me, it's not my first, but this is my first, and it's so important. And so nerve-wracking because one, I speak in Russian. So I'm playing a Russian, I guess, of Middle Eastern descent or whatever descent he is. And so that was quite something. Second, we shot on a vessel, on a boat, on a ship. And that's different. That's a first. And not to mention, it was in Nigeria, in a whole nother continent that I have never been. And learning their culture, their a little bit of their language, and these people who are so nice. I mean, that was just a blessing for me. So all of that, it was very nerve-wracking, and that's why I couldn't wait. And I had to watch the film before anybody else watches it. And I gotta say, I'm very proud, very, very, very happy, because you mentioned this is a small independent studio, Play Networks, and it is their first feature on Netflix. They've had, I think, a series or two, but movie itself, I think, is their first, and it's freaking amazing to be on Netflix again and to be part of this world. And I've had like 20 people already watch the film in different parts of the world, so that's like really, really freaking awesome. I personally did not think that this film will make it this far, because to me it was another independent film. That's all it was. I am glad I did not know that it was going to be a Netflix original, because just so you know, the director, the producers, they knew before we even shot it that this was going to get picked up by Netflix. Thankfully, they didn't tell us, because that would have freaked me out. And wow. Alex, I know you would have been like, what? So exactly. So I am glad they didn't trust us with that information, because we as actors, sometimes we cannot keep it together. Okay. We freak out. We hear Netflix and we freak out. So I am glad I did not know that, because I would have been scared and even more nervous than I was while we were shooting this. So I am so proud and so happy and so thankful.
So it's more like this is like a surprise gift for you, like an early Christmas present for you. Just shock it, bam, we going on Netflix. That just means that this film must have had a fantastic screenplay for itself. It was a fantastic pitch to Netflix. And that just goes to all the more show just how extremely blessed you two gentlemen are. Alex, I want to get to you now. Same thing. What is your overall thoughts and feelings? Did you think and know that it would get all the way to this point to where you're having this film debut on Netflix, going from it just being just your standard independent film and then elevating itself to premiering on Netflix here today. How are you feeling, sir?
Well, yes. So I had no idea that this film will get up to Netflix, and even though I thought that this project has a great production value at the first place, and I thought about it as this is a very, very strong independent feature film, and I thought that it has a chance to get on a certain level, but I never thought it's going to get up to the Netflix level, right? And all I feel is I feel blessed, grateful, and super proud about it. And this is my first big project, and hit it to Netflix. It's just beyond the dream come true, So I'm super happy about it.
That's amazing. I love it. You can just tell both of your reactions are truly genuine. Your happiness, and this is just what you love to see with stuff like this right here. Yeah. And so going about that, and with this being an independent film, I'll start with you, Alex. Can you tell us about your journey specifically as an actor and how you got to be involved in this film?
Well, my journey began not that long ago in the actor's perspective, because in order to get somewhere as an actor, it takes time, right? And so for me, I started acting in 2018. So I'm a baby considering the overall picture, what it's like to get to a certain point, be an actor. And but I was very determined on what I want, and realizing the fact that this is what I want to do and this is my choice. I was just working really hard every day, doing those little baby steps towards my goal. And I think this project is literally the proof of hard work that's been done prior to that, because nothing happens without a reason or some sort of, process what was prior to that, right? It's not just a win a lottery thing. It's not just a luck. It's always something behind it. So I feel really, really, blessed and accomplished with this project. And but also there's always a chance and opportunity, something really unexpected, and you never know how and when you can get picked up for a project. And in this specific case, what happened is, I can probably reveal it now, that Rene actually is the one who was the link between me and the production.
Really?
Right? Because they were looking for an actor who is speaking Russian, and I sent my reel. Rene passed it over to the director and the producers, and they got very interested about to work with me, and that's how it all started. So sometimes things can happen not through like the normal way, getting cast through the casting office and stuff like that. So there was a different completely scenario, and that's why you have to be open to it. I had no idea what this project is about. I had no idea what it's going to become, right? So everything is just like, you have to just believe in yourself and just throw it out there and see what happens, and do your best. Of course, you have to do your best, as an actor, and be prepared and be ready for it. If you're not ready, you might miss an opportunity. So to be ready is the key. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very inspiring. That's very inspiring. That kind of touched me, And Rene, it sounded like you were the connecting glue. You were the plug for getting Alex to be a part of this.
And think about it. Why wouldn't I? I mean, look at that face. He's talented. He's hot. He's handsome. He's young. I was about to say a bad word. Sorry. This guy is good. It's good. I mean, why wouldn't I?
Excellent. Yeah. That's excellent. And so, Rene, going into you were the connecting glue for Alex. So I want to know what was your journey as an actor like, and how did you get all the way to this point to where you was able to be involved with this production?
So I've been acting for 12 and a half years. That's how long. That's when the dream started for me. So I was a bit younger and than Alex when I started acting, and also I'm a little older acting than Alex, but it's been a great experience. 12 and a half years ago, I had this dream of being in front of the camera in film and television shows, and I said, why not? And I moved across the country, came to Los Angeles, packed everything in my car, stopped selling houses, because that's what I was during college. I was a realtor in Richmond, Virginia. And I decided to give all that up. I had a very fancy life. I was in college. I had a nice income. Yeah. For a young guy, I was making some real money selling real estate for 3 consecutive years. But I wasn't happy. And I stumbled through acting, and I realized I do like this. And so I'm going to give it a chance. So I packed my things in my car, drove across the country, made it to LA. And in LA, I realized, okay, so this is an actual job. This is a career. I have to study. I have to work. I have to do all these things. And so I did that. I did what every actor does when we come to LA. I got my headshots. I worked with my demo reel. I did 500 jobs that I wish nobody knew that I did them, because they were not good at all. And I was not good either. Okay. So I did all of that. Now in terms of Blood Vessel, I got a message, an Instagram message from Moses, the director, because he had seen some of my work and he really liked it. And he reached out to me. My first instinct was, oh, hell no, Nigeria. Because in the States, we think Nigerians are a scam. Like when somebody emails you from Nigeria, you better not open that email. And when somebody messages you from Nigeria that you don't know, you don't open that. But I was like, you know what? Let me open it, because I'm that rebel. I'm that person who, fuck yeah, let's do it. And I go, and I went, and I started reading what he's sending. I'm like, oh, this sounds good. This is great. And then quickly I go on IMDb, and I'm like, oh, this guy does exist. This guy has. So next thing I am, okay, give me your number. I'm going to FaceTime you, right? I want to make sure that you are who you say you are. And I start crossing references, and it turns out that he was, and he knew what he was saying. And so then he had already sent me a script to read. I read it, and I did like it. I saw the heart. I saw the soul. I saw the need to tell this story. And so with all of that, quickly I was in. I sent it to my agent, and my agent was like, Rene, I can't find anything on this job. I was like, shut up, I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm so glad I did it. And as we were talking, Moses, the director, is the one who mentioned, hey, I need my main villain. I don't have him. And he starts describing him. And I was like, hey, I'm in LA. I know so many people. I'm going to post something on Instagram, and people are going to share it. We're going to get a lot of people. And we did. I think I had about 50 demo reels submitted to me that I went through a lot of them, but I only sent Alex's demo reel, because that's, in my opinion, that was the only demo reel that stood out and that really spoke Russian, because there were a lot of Caucasian men trying to speak Russian who were not Russians. And I was like, no, this person has to be fluent or else it's not going to work. So that was number one. There's some others were really young or really old, and that wouldn't work for the story either. And Alex was just perfect in every aspect. He was great. He knew what he was doing. He spoke the language. He had everything. And so it was a no-brainer for me. So thankfully, Alex, Moses, the director, and the producers, they all agree with me. And here we are. almost a year later on Netflix.
Boom.
That's excellent. Both of you were chasing your dreams. You wanted to pursue your happiness for what you wanted for your careers, and you put in the work, and it's clearly showing now with Alex, as it's sounding like within this film, you play the main villain. That sounds excellent. That sounds like you had a whole hell of a lot of fun. And it really sounds like you both were chasing your dreams, and it got to a point where your dreams started to fight for you. And I commend you both for that, very much so. And so, Alex, since we're on this topic, you play the main villain of this movie, correct?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. You know, I always wanted to play a villain, but I want to know.
You should.
Hey, man, I'll throw the blazer on. I'll throw on the turtleneck, and I'll easily look like an asshole right from the beginning.
You don't even have to be one. You just have to pretend that you are, and that's it.
That's easy.
But yeah, Alex, so how did you prepare for your role in this film? And did you face any unique challenges with bringing this character to life?
First when I read the script, for me as an actor is always, I have to understand what the writer of the script exactly wants to say as a story, right? And from there, you have to find what it's exactly personally for me in this character related to me. I know he's a villain, but don't forget, villains are also, they not really think of themselves as villains, right? So what was that for me that would drive me doing these things, right? What's the pre-story, right? What's the background of this? And I had to create this something for me like that I can relate to, right, with this character. And I did my researches about the situation in Nigeria, about the people that what the struggles they're going through over there. And also I am playing the Russian villain, not just any other villains, right? I am the Russian villain. What it is for me being that kind of villain and what it brings into the story, right? Why that exactly is the something that's supposed to bring some spice into the story, right? And so it's just a deep character work that I had to spend time on. But then being on set, it's also another part of the game when you are getting into the character. And I remember clearly that sometimes, between the takes, you have some time that, you're just waiting for, the crew to reset the background and do things to prepare for the next take. And I was partially in the character. I was staying in the character, maybe not like 100%, but, most of it. And I could see that the people around me, the crew, sometimes they were like, I'm not sure if I want to talk to this guy right now. You know what I mean?
You tapped it a little bit to that method acting.
They were a little intimidated by me, but I just had it together, and again, I had my own reasons being bad and doing things what I've been doing. And don't forget, I'm also a human being and I have feelings. So I can also get hurt and all that stuff. So it's not just the one-dimensional, you're a bad guy, you do bad thing because you're a bad guy. There's always something behind it. And I've created that background for myself to fulfill and make it very not just a one-dimensional kind of, action thing, right? A little bit mystery in there too, I think.
Yeah, so it sounds like I have to keep my eyes in the back of the head when it comes to you, man. Sounds like you went a little bit Thanos within this role, because why I mentioned Thanos specifically, because what the way you described your character and his villain arc is that the best types of villains in movies are the ones where you understand their motivation, you resonate with them emotionally at times, and the villains, they feel like they're the heroes of their stories. They're not just your typical mustache twirling type of villains, like I just want to be evil. It sounds like there's a reasoning, there's a method to the madness behind your character. And I cannot wait for all of us to be able to explore that, learn more about your character. Now, transitioning to Rene, I think you play a bit of a villainy role yourself. And if you want to, please, by all means, describe to us your character, who you play within the film, and if there was any types of challenges that you may have faced when bringing this character to life.
Sure. Yeah. So I play Alexi, one of Alex's characters' henchmen. So my job was really easy here because I had no dialogue. The very few words that I have are in Russian. So maybe that was a challenge, learning those lines, those words in Russian, which I have never spoken in the past. And I never thought that I could play a character like this either. So this was a challenge of its own. Yet it was so much fun because I don't have to worry about anything. I had no dialogue. I just had to be there. I just had to be present, which at times that can be hard, especially when you have no dialogue because you feel naked. You feel like, what am I here? What am I doing? But for me, I've played these characters so many times where I call them extras, right? Where they hire me just to be an extra. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe they're paying me $1,000 just to be an extra, just to stand, just to stand here, just to stand, kind of like a bodyguard that is just there in case something happens, but nothing ever happens. So you're just there. And so that was me throughout this movie, just standing there and doing things and hearing things and reacting to things, and that was it. So yet it's a character I have played many times, but every character does have its own challenges, because for me, I make sure that even though I played this character 3, 5, 10 times before, I want to make sure that it's different than my last one, even if they are written the exact same way. And so what I do is I give my characters secrets, things that the writers, the director have not thought of. Something as little as changing his sexual preference, or changing his abilities or skills, or the way he thinks, or I make my characters OCDs, or I give them ADDs, or any type of mental or physical sickness. By doing that, my character is different than my last one. I make sure to never judge my characters, ever. I don't judge them. I don't criticize them. Instead, I find the human side of it, the human part of it, especially when they are villains, when they're bad guys. Because like you said, every villain has to be, or thinks that he is the main character of his own story, right? So I go a little far from beyond that to understand the psychology of it. And that's my preparation, understanding the relationships with each of the characters that I'm in a scene, whether it is my boss or my comrade or my friend or someone I don't like, really, but understand to a very specific degree how close of friends we are, or why am I doing this? Why am I here? Do I want to be here? So all these things, right? And why am I here? And so once I understand that, is really easy for me to just enjoy the moment and enjoy what I'm doing and just be present. And I don't have to worry about anything else, regardless of having dialogue or not. So that is what I do. That's how I prepare. Now, no one taught me that because I did not go to acting school. That's something I came up on my own by just doing it throughout the years, acting in front of the camera. And it's interesting to me because it's so much easier than it seems once you are doing it. Yet it is so hard at the same time to pretend to be somebody else and to make sure that you are really enjoying the moment, that you're really living the moment. Because the moment that is not organic to you, the audience is going to call you out on it. They are going to know that it's fake. They're going to call you as a bad actor. They're going to label you as that. They're not going to believe it. And even if the audience is not able to put it in the perfect or the right words, but they'll know that something is off. So I, as an actor, my job is to make sure that I'm living, that I'm enjoying. So whether it's the right or whether it's the strongest choice that I could have made as an actor, but I make sure to take a stand. I make sure to have a saying on literally every word that comes out of the other characters, or even if I'm not speaking, even if I'm not part of that scene per se, and I'm just an extra like I am throughout this movie, I still have to have an opinion, because in real life, see, you're listening to what I'm saying and you are like, your mind is thinking, right? That is what I'm sure to do in every scene, whether I am a main character or not, whether I speak or not. I have to do what you're doing right now, because you're living. I'm making you feel things, and I make sure to feel things. And the only way to do that is to be relaxed before you go into the scene and be ready to take whatever comes your way. And I treat every scene as an improvised scene, because I don't know what's coming. I don't know what's happening. Whatever comes, I'm going to take it, because in real life, you don't know where I'm going to take this conversation, right? We have no idea. You have an idea of the questions that you want to ask, but right now you don't know what's happening and you don't know what I'm going to say next. So your job is to react to what I'm doing. And that's what I do in acting. So that can have its own challenges in every job, in every scene, but I just take them for what they are. I just enjoy them because I love this. This is what this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and you can really feel it with everything you said, and I love everything you said. Like I felt so invested. I haven't felt so invested like this in a conversation since I was in college. Because man, I feel like I want to take notes off of this.
you should. No, just kidding. I don't do it. That is just. I want to make sure that everyone understands this. That is my process. Now, that is what I do, and that's how I do things. Some actors do that. Some actors don't. You know, it doesn't matter what you do and how you do things, as long as you have a process and you're honest to that process and to the material, it's going to be fine, because all we care is about the result, right? It's kind of like math. It doesn't matter how you got there. As long as you got there, that's what matters. But you got to show the work, right, in math. So here, you just got to be able to get there, and it doesn't matter how you get there. But we need to see the work. We need to see you.
Hey, you hit it right on the money. It's all about the work and what you put in. You get what you put in, but pretty much. And what you put in, you know, you don't have a lot of speaking within this film, as you're saying, but you still make your presence felt, and you give your character a sense of identity, even though he's not really speaking as much within this film. And I feel that is all the more fascinating. And I know you did a great job with bringing that to life. And I love.
Shut up. You haven't seen it yet. You haven't seen it yet. I will say this.
I can see it right now. I can see it right now.
I don't know. I will say this. A few people from Nigeria, from different parts of Africa and the UK, already messaged me with images that I'm nervous to even post, because I don't like tuning my own horns, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I don't know, because what might be great to you might suck to Alex or the rest of the world, or what Alex might like, you may or may not agree with it. So I'm always nervous to post any applause, anything any compliments on my acting. I'm always like, oh, let's just not do that. And it's sad because they're tagging.
Don't be shy.
Like,
man, you better take that. You better take in all that praise that's coming your way. You earned that.
I do sometimes, but at my own time. I do post those things, but some people already saw it and they're saying really good things about Alex. And apparently, Alex, you got some fans throughout the world. They think you're hot.
Okay, Alex, I see you out here. You getting that worldwide fan base.
You know what? Somebody reached out to me just to ask me, "Hey, are you friends with the villain?" I was like, "Why?" Wait, you're
buddies.
You're messaging me to ask me about him. Why don't you message him? That's how I responded to that.
Send them to me. I'll talk to them.
There you go. You got your number one fan set up for you, Alex.
Yeah.
On you, Alex. So it sounds like you all had a great time making this movie. So I want to know, what was that experience like on set and the relationships that you was building with your cast and the directors? How was that all interacting on the set?
Well, overall, I would say everything was beyond my expectations, honestly. Well, I would say I came to Nigeria the first time, and it's like you on a different planet or something. It's so different, the vibe, the energy, the way how people think, the mentality, right? Everything. And so it was just fascinating to me. I felt myself like as if I am making a movie inside of the movie, if it makes sense to you. But it's how I felt. It felt very adventurous. Every day was an adventure for us, because you get in the car, driving on set, and just driving by and see what's happening on the streets. You see the people around you. It just like, wow. It's like you're like watching a movie while you're driving in the car, passing by. So it was just amazing to see all this. And the director, the crew, the cast, everybody is really friendly and welcomed. And I really felt the part of the team. And this is very important for an actor, because in order to do my job, I have to tune in with everybody and be on the same page with everybody, so you don't have any misunderstandings going on between you and the director and the crew, and you have to pay attention on everything. And one of the challenges for me was, honestly, just in the first day, I would say I had to get used to the Nigerian English, right? And I myself, foreigner, I speak Russian, Ukrainian, English, and I know maybe my accent not super clear to some people. So, but this time I had to really pay attention. What are the people saying to me? Until finally I kind of got adjusted to it, right? And it's important. You have to communicate, right? You have to, be super focused on everything, what's going on. And luckily, the director is a super cool guy, Moses. I love him to death, because I was able to really be myself with him, and not freaking out or panicking about, oh, what if he thinks about me something else that I'm not, or whatever. We found the connection between us instantly. And I wasn't afraid to, speak up my truth. I wasn't afraid to share my ideas. And also, I had lots of impros. So I improvised a lot. It means that he had a trust in me to do those improvs, right? Because it's just like he gives me complete freedom, right? And I have to honor it and respect this, and just do my best. And I'm just super grateful that he gave me that opportunity to express myself as an actor on 100%. And it's a big honor working with a director like that. So, and the crew, the PA, the best PA I've ever worked on set in my entire life. Oh my God. This guy was beyond expectations. Every single person, was top notch. And again, this is the first time for me being in Nigeria, shooting a movie in Nigeria. And I had no idea how people so involved in films and productions, and because they love this. Nigerians, they love movies, and we love movies. We like making movies. We like being actors, but they love this too. And that love overall, that what brings us together on set. And I could feel it from other people. They're not there just doing their job because they get paid. They're there because they love to do that, and that's the greatest thing when you get together with the people that like-minded like them.
Very much sounds like when you gave that for the director, it sounds like very much in actors, directors, and he's putting that much trust in you and believing in you to bring that character to life. And that's high praise. And I'll tap into the culture and to the making of the movie in Nigeria in a bit. But I want to go to Rene and I want to know what was his experience like working with the cast, the crew, and the director, and what was the experience like for him on set? Go ahead, Rene.
So for me, get this. I flew there February 22nd. And I finished the movie here in Los Angeles on the 21st at like midnight. And then we had to fly in like at 8, 9 a.m. out of LA. And that was like a 27, 28 hour. I mean, it was insane. Like we left here on a Tuesday. We got there Thursday, to give you an idea. Okay. That's how it was, because of the layovers. And I think we took 3 or 4 flights. And I am sick. I am so sick. And Alex was really kind because he even helped me to get the proper vitamins that I needed and pills to help my sickness. So I have been working on a set for 10, 15 hours prior to flying. I haven't slept and I am sick. So I get to Nigeria and I'm coughing a lot, coughing. And everybody there will tell me, sorry, every time I cough. That's a very Nigerian, very African thing. Here in the States, when you cough, people are like, ugh. Or some will say, bless you, or God bless you, right? But over there, they will feel sorry for you because you're sick and they are hoping that you'll get well soon. That was like my first taste of their culture, of the people, and how respectful and how kind and how warm they were to me. And I was like, oh, I like this. Now, that was really cool. So these people really took me in as one of their own. And I love that. I appreciated that. So for me I forgot the question. What was the question?
It's okay, man. It's okay if you want to. The question was, what was your experience like working with the director and the rest of the cast on this film?
I knew I was getting somewhere. So for me, see, I did half of the question. For me, it was really eye-opening how these people live, how different they are from us. Yet we have so many similarities because we're, like Alex said, we both like films. We love films, right? Not just watching them, but making them. And I saw that passion. I saw that love. And that was like really cool. Moses, the director himself, he's a character. So he's awesome, dude. In so many ways, I got to know him a little bit personally, and I got to know him a lot professionally. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan as a person and as a director too. I like him both. And that's really cool because I cannot tell you enough how many directors I've worked with that I did not like as human beings. And that happens a lot with actors, unfortunately. I'm pretty sure you've had jobs that you don't like your coworkers. Well, that happens to us too. It happens every so often where I've done jobs that I'm so glad I'm done with it. And I love doing that job, but I did not like my co-stars or I did not like my director. Well, that was not the case here. Here, I did enjoy working with Moses. I did like him. I was already a fan before I even made it there. After working with him, I became a bigger fan. Charles, the executive producer and also owner of Play Networks, he's at another level, like coolness. He's if you Google him, you'll see it. This mofo is a cool dude. Like you want to be him and you want to have his money too, okay? And the people around him, like everybody's just so cool around him, and so I want to be part of his entourage. So I was like really pleased. Roxanne, one of the producers, she was just so cool. She came to the airport to pick us up, Alex and I, and that never really happens. As you start working, you'll meet the director and the producers on set if you're lucky. Sometimes you don't even get to meet them. I've done so many jobs that I don't know who produced that picture or that show. I see it on the credits when it comes out. I'm like, and then I go Google them. I'm like, oh, I never met them. That happens a lot. But here, she took the time to come to the airport to pick us up and be there for us, and tell us a lot of the do's and don'ts. And she put me at ease really quickly. The moment I landed, within 10 minutes of landing, and once I talked to her, she told us a few things. In other words, don't worry, you're taken care of, you're fine. Nigeria is not as bad as they make it out to be. And she was right. But hearing that from a local and from a producer, it was different than my research online, because the research online can scare you. And it's not. Nigeria is not a lot of what the media puts it out to be. So this was a really cool experience from the get-go. When I left, I remember being in tears once I was in the plane taking off, for so many reasons. This was a really bittersweet one, because I'm going back to the States. I'm going to get the food that I like, because Nigerian food is so spicy and I cannot eat spicy. So I was suffering with that.
Yeah, that was also one of my struggles too.
Yeah. And also, so I don't eat anything spicy, and I got to be really careful because I'm a bit allergic to certain spices, and I could be sick and end up at a hospital. So I was very careful with that. Also, it was really hot and humid. So I was excited to come back to LA for all of that. Yet it also hit me. I just did a movie in a continent, in a country that I wanted to visit. So they paid me to come here to do what I love. And I came and I really got to see their culture, the people, that I'm not sure if I would have been able to do that as a tourist. But I did it, and they paid me for it. I was really happy. So I had tears once the plane took off, because it was really bittersweet. It was a little bit of both. And I knew that we had done something great. I just didn't know where it was going to go. But I was very proud of what I did. And taking this chance, because it also required something from me to be able to do this, because I could have very well just blocked Moses when he first messaged me on Instagram. Instead, I decided to investigate, like you do in a horror movie, even though you're about to die, but you want to go see who it is, the person that just walked into your door with a gun. Well, that was me here. And I'm so glad that I took that leap of faith. I'm so glad that I read that instant message, and that I investigated that. And I was so happy. So I had all these emotions once I was in the plane, taking off, leaving Nigeria to come back to Los Angeles. But a lot of it was like, oh, am I ever going to feel this again? Am I going to see these people again? Am I going to be able to fly this far and get paid for it and do what I love? So it was a lot of that. And I knew that I was happy with what I had done, and that I was very proud of the work and the project and the people. And so all of that was bringing a lot of conflicting emotions and feelings. So that was my experience.
That's excellent. Wow. Just shooting a movie in Nigeria, man. I couldn't even imagine what the thoughts is going in you guys' heads heading out that way. 28-hour flight. Oh, my Lord. And so, so I whoever wants to answer first, the movie was shot in Nigeria, as we all said. And so I want to know how was the culture like? And is there any like distinct differences that you know of, as opposed to, having this Nigerian style of movie, as they refer to it? It's a Nollywood film for Nigerian Hollywood. What are some key differences you would say between this type of style of film and your traditional U.S. American Hollywood style of film?
Alex, you want to go first?
Whoever wants the floor first.
What's spinning in my head the first is obviously the culture. You can't take it out from the narrative here, because the culture, I think, are very like one of the engines of this film. And I feel like, let's say, staying in the hotel, even like watching the cable TV and watching like different TV shows, the local TV shows every day, a little bit here and there. The huge difference is that like emotional aspect of the stories that they bringing up on the screen, and it's very it's very different from the Hollywood stories for sure, but the mentality, the energy, I think these people very how to say, I would say their hearts are very open, and they share their vulnerability a lot. And you can see in these stories what are the people going through every day in their lives. And it's like it's something that you want it or not, but it's gonna get through in each story, even if it's just some family story going on, or the blood vessel. Everywhere you can see this link to their culture, to show where they coming from, and their identities as Nigerians, and also the struggles they're going through. Either way, it's all connected. And I think in the blood vessel specifically, the part of getting this people together when they have completely different circumstances, why they were running from the little village, but what brought them together and how they were interacting with each other and finding the ways to, do we like each other? Do we hate each other? How do we, communicate? And all this, it brings, this something very special in this film, but all based on the culture and where these people came from, and the history as well. As maybe that in this film there are different languages, Russian, and then there is English, and there are a couple of there's one language specifically that actors, they don't speak in a daily basis, so they had to have a dialect coach on set, and they learned to speak that language because that language was one of the ancient African language that their ancestors were speaking. And that shows how important it was for them to have this connection to their ancestors, to something what they all came from, to bring the history in here, So what I want to say is this film is like, it's not just an action thriller / horror story. It's not just about that. It's much deeper, getting into the roots of the lives and and the culture.
That's excellent. Rene, what are your thoughts?
So for me, the biggest difference that I saw is that they are not afraid to show who they are and to speak and to tell their stories raw. And I think here in Hollywood, we seem to hide behind the curtain, behind the makeup, right? And there's certain actors and actresses who won't go on camera unless they have perfect makeup and great lighting. And I've seen those on sets too many times where the divas will require 30 more minutes of makeup. But not, and I'm not saying every actor is like that here in Hollywood, no, but I've met a few. But I saw how raw their stories are, and that's how they want to portray them. That's how they want to tell those stories. And they are not afraid of that. They want the world to see them for who they are. They are hungry to tell stories and to show who they are. And I love that. I saw that was the biggest difference between Nollywood and Hollywood. I thought these people they just want to tell their stories, whether they have the means or not, whether they have 20 millions or $500. And I love that. I love how supportive they are because, like Alex said, when you turn on the local TV, you'll see local productions rather than seeing Iron Man or Spider-Man, which I love too. They're great films. But no, they are playing local movies that they shot with $3,000, but somehow they make it to local. They're all soapy and very, I mean, and I'm saying this because the locals will say it too. Very low budget films or TV shows, but they are watching them. They're supporting it. And I love that. I love how supportive that community is. And I think that's very different than Hollywood. Hollywood, you put out a movie, an independent film that that was made with $10,000, you're lucky if you make your money back. In fact, 90% of the movies, more than 90% of the movies that are independent do not make their money back. They don't go anywhere. And when they do, people don't watch them. Very small percentage of human beings in Los Angeles and in the United States will go to an art house theater to watch an independent film, because we're so used to watching the big budget films, the Marvels, whatever is up, whatever is on, right, and fashionable and great. And typically those come with a big amount of money. So if it doesn't have those special effects and those sounds and that music that we really like, we're not watching it, we're not tuning in. But Nigerians, I thought, man, these people are like the OGs, they are real. And they like who they are. They like telling their own stories, and they're not afraid of it, and I really appreciated that, because I myself, I've been a victim once or twice where if I'm on a set, I want makeup. I don't want to go without makeup. So I'm one of those people, okay? And if I haven't slept enough, I don't want to go out, because I don't want people to see me when I haven't slept. Or God forbid I get acne or pimples in my face, then I think I'm just going to stay home. I'm not going to work out today. And so, but they are not afraid of that. And I really appreciated that. So I thought that was the biggest difference.
That's amazing. That is awesome. It just made me want to do a little bit more research, because I never even knew that Nollywood even existed, that this culture style of movies existed at the time. So when I heard about this, I was instantly hooked, like, let me look more into this.
It's really cool because there is Nollywood, and I just did a movie in South Africa as well. And that's a whole nother. And then there's Namibia, there's Ghana. There are all these places in Africa that they have studios, and they are creating content from all, but they're all very similar, because now I've been to several countries in Africa, and each time it's been for work now, which is crazy. And they're all very similar. And Africa is such a huge continent. So I think it's 54 countries, yet they are all very similar. It's not like the America that you start in Canada and then you come to the US, we're different. You go to Mexico, that's a whole nother world. God forbid you go to Central America. Be careful, because you're going to get shot. And then you go to South America, depending where you are, if you're in a good country, great. If you're not, good luck coming back to the States, right? Not to mention the language, the culture, all those things, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But Africans, they have a lot in common. And the support that you get from one country to, rather than hating each other, they support each other. They love each other. And I love that. I really did, especially the content that they create and how they watch it. And whether it's something local or from another African country, they'll watch it and they'll support it. And I love that. That's something we should learn to do.
Absolutely. We absolutely should learn to do it. All righty, man. Last question, and I won't hold up too much of you guys' time as we push it an hour. But last question, I'll start with you, Rene. What do you feel audiences should expect going into watching this movie?
They should have no expectations, because when they have expectations, they get crushed, and then they don't like the movie. Yeah. So come in with no expectations, come with a clean slate, and just come to watch a Nollywood film. That's it. I think they should go in with that, because at least for me, when I go in to watch a movie and I'm already like, oh my God, this is going to be the best Marvel movie. And I go see the Marvels and I'm disappointed, not cool.
Oh, man.
I'm throwing some shade.
You went there. Hey, you went there.
I shouldn't have said that. I apologize. Okay, I don't want to get canceled, please.
you are fine, man. Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead, Rene.
Yeah, but that's it. I think that it's better not to have expectations, so you enjoy the ride.
Alrighty, Alex, how do you feel?
Well, I agree on that. Just feel everything, expect nothing.
Ooh.
Just sit back and enjoy the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
The genre is great, and there are lots of things mixed together with a mystery, with an adventure, with a thriller, with a horror. So I think a little bit of everything. It's like spicy ingredients in Nigerian food. Ooh, hot. So yeah, that's all I can say. And again, just watch it, feel it, and enjoy it.
That's awesome. And once again, everybody, it is out now. The wait is over. You don't have to wait no more. Go ahead, log into Netflix, because damn there, everybody should have Netflix, even though they are raising their prices. Go out and go watch this movie right now. Blood Vessel. You will not be disappointed. You got some talented people that worked on this movie. I have a lot of faith in this movie. I think I'm going to go ahead, get my little Wingstop 10-piece lemon pepper classic and lay back and watch this movie later on tonight. But
when you're done watching it, please rate it. And if you liked it, then love it. Rate it as you loved it. And if you didn't like it, still love it.
Yeah, just give it some love. Man, yeah. All these types of movies, just give them all the love they need right now. Because, man.
Exactly. We need the love.
Yeah, we need the love. So if you love us, you know what to do.
Go ahead,
if you don't love us, still give us love.
Even the villains need some love in the life.
Man, sometimes villains, all they wanted at the end of the day was a hug. So, maybe things would have changed. Mm-hmm. But gentlemen, this was awesome. Thank you both so much for your time. You both are going to continue to thrive within your careers. A lot more opportunities are going to flow your way, more blessings, more love. And I cannot wait to see what else you guys have in store for yourselves, for your careers, your futures, all of it, whether you write, direct, produce, keep on acting, just keep on pushing and keep on chasing and pursuing those dreams. As I said before, as you fight for your dreams will fight for you.
Amen. Yes,
sir. That is it from here today. This is an amazing interview. Alex Budin, Rene Mena, Blood Vessel is here, y'all. What you waiting for? Go ahead. Turn it on your TVs immediately. And that's all I got from me. From me to you, thank you for being here. And that'll be a wrap.